And good morning and happy Cinco de Mayo. Robin and I are wearing our hats from Mexico in honor of our Mexican counterparts. And, I had to refresh myself, and I'm going to refresh everyone real quickly. This is Mexican Independence Day. It's like our 4th of July. Hey, Siri, what is Cinco de Mayo? Oh, sorry about that. Siri in the other room's answering. But Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of Mexican independence from the French, similar to our U.S. independence from the English. So our brothers and sisters down in Mexico, we love you guys. And we've got a bustling little community starting up down there in Playa del Carmen. I don't know if there's anyone from Playa on the phone with us. If you are, raise your hand or pop off, mute and say hello. But we had so much fun when we were down there that I had to wear my Mexico hat in celebration of Cinco de Mayo. I might even have a burrito or a taco today. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But welcome to our call. Gregory and Robin here up in Bozeman. And we do this call every Thursday morning, and it's a business chat. And sometimes it's just open discussion, Q&A. Sometimes it's a targeted subject. And yesterday on our director's call, and we look forward to inviting all of you to joining our director's call, like our new director, Ravel, joined us yesterday for the first time. That was so wonderful to have you there. And so we have a director's mastermind call every Wednesday morning for directors and above. And we're all directors. Rob and I happen to be senior presidential directors, but we're all directors. Once you get into the director community, ranks, we invite you. And we had a really juicy conversation yesterday about two of the master skills of success that I've kind of stumbled on and kind of embodied and love to share with everyone. And I got nominated to share them with you here today. So, this is one of the times you might want to take out a notepad. And I'm going to go ahead and pin myself so we can, I'm a bigger live picture in front of you all. I want to talk about two master skills of success. Then we'll open it up for some interaction and dialogue. But the first one I want to talk about is something that I've kind of surnamed rapid sequential exposure. Okay. And rapid sequential exposure. This is a $1 million master skill of network marketing success. Because, in this business, we're all about contacting, inviting, and presenting and sharing information, giving people enough information to make an informed decision. We talk about all of that. But I think one of the challenges we all fall short on, is the concept of follow-up. I don't know if there's anybody in the group that's good at follow-up. If so, raise your hand, but I don't think we'll see very many hands go up. It's a tough skill to master, but it's a master skill. And sometimes breaking it down into simple, least common denominators makes it easier. And this is one of them. If you want to master the skill of follow-up, master this success principle of rapid sequential exposure. And what rapid sequential exposure basically says is, once you put an exposure in process, or you put someone in the pipeline, as we like to say, or you put them in the funnel, or you begin, the presentation process, you pique their interest and maybe you sent them a video. Okay. And those are the two first steps that we have incorporated into our daily method of operation. We pique people's interest. Hey, have you heard about this incredible breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology, or whatever you use to pique people's interest? Then we use the InTouch app. We send them a video, right? Some people watch it, some people don't. Regardless of whether they watch it or not, that means you began the exposure process. And our job is to give people enough information to make an informed decision. And what I know to be true, if you stretch out the dispersing that information to them over a longer period of time, it takes them a longer time to make a decision, and your chances of getting the decision you're after diminish. However, if you compress those those pieces of information, or exposures, as we like to call them, whether it's a second video or a phone call or a three-way call or a sample. It's all these other tools we have that we can use along the way to help people get enough enthusiasm and information to say, yes, I want to try the product, or yes, I want to join the business. That's our job, is, as I've heard it said, our job is to interrupt people long enough to make them interested in something they didn't know existed. And that's a little bit of a challenge, but it's also fun, okay? And so once you get the exposure process started, the closer together each exposure is, probably the less you're going to have to make and the quicker you're going to get to the decision. And that doesn't mean you're going to get to a yes. It can be a no. But as we know from, the teaching Robin likes to share is, the go for no, every no gets you closer to a yes. And you don't want to drag a no out. If someone's not interested, let's find out sooner than later. And likewise, if someone is interested, let's get them started sooner than later. So my challenge and recommendation to you is, once you begin the exposure process, once you get that first video out to them, you've made that first phone call, there's a second principle I'm going to weave right in with this because they go kind of hand in hand. And the second principle, write this one down. Never end one exposure without scheduling the next. Never end one exposure without scheduling the next. So that means, if I'm saying, hey, Stacy, it's so cool. I'm so glad you're interested, and I don't have much time right now, but I'm going to go ahead and send you a video. And let me just say, heck, it's Thursday morning. When would be a good, it's only 3 minutes long. When would be a good time to follow up with you and get your feedback? And, in mornings, afternoons, evening, what works best for you? And okay, cool. I'll put that in my calendar. You put it in yours and I'll talk to you then. Okay. Now, by the way, Stacy, if when you watch the video, you get really excited, you don't have to wait for me to call you back. You can call me right after you're done, because this is the coolest thing. I've been in, alternative health technologies for decades, and I've never seen anything like this. Express some enthusiasm, set an appointment, and be done. Very cool. I really look forward to your feedback, and I'll talk to you this afternoon at 3:00, or this evening at 7:00, or tomorrow about this same time. So you never end one exposure without scheduling the next, and you keep each exposure as close together as possible. I like to call it professional persistence. You want to be in there enough. You don't want to be pushy or be a nag, but it's kind of borderline. You want to be right there with them, because really your time is your most valuable asset. I think we'd all agree with that. We can always get more money, but you can't get more time. Well, actually, with our business and our products, maybe that's not true, because we maybe can buy some more time by reversing the aging process, right? But, time is just so valuable. And, it's funny that, people give almost anybody your time, but we won't give just anybody signature rights on our checking account, will we? Well, if your time is your most valuable asset, and now I'm getting into another principle that we'll save for another call about the value of time, but value your own time. And your goal is to help people come to a logical decision, an informed decision in a timely manner. And again, it might be no, and many times no means not now. Okay. I'm busy. Hey, I'm going on vacation. Let me check back with you. I'm going to Europe for a month, and I'll check back with you when I get back. That's fine. Okay. But, once you begin that process, and I know Robin, she's got an interesting approach when she's dealing with a new prospect. Most people send one video and wait for them to watch it. Robin sends both videos at the same time. She sends the 3-minute video and the 18-minute video. And because we know most people that watch those two videos, they want to try the products or they join. I mean, I think it's a majority. It might be 2 out of 3, might be 3 out of 5, but we have a really high closing rate ratio when you get them to watch that second video. So the first one is the 3-minute video is a teaser. the 18-minute video is a closer, but not everybody needs the 18-minute video. It might be a three-way call. It might just be you have such a great relationship, they get with you and you tell your story or one or two other stories and say, well, I can't wait. How do I get this stuff? You know, so you don't have to give people more information than they need. And not everybody needs the same amount. And that's another thing, another one of Robin's skills. She likes to ask people when she's, you know, inviting them to take you a look, do you like a lot of information or a little bit? And some people are going to say, I'm really busy, just send me, you know, something short. And other people say, throw it at me, you know, I want to know it all. So, so that's the two concepts I kind of wanted to put on the table today for discussion, you know, rapid sequential exposure and never ending one exposure without scheduling the next. And I wonder if there's any of any of our directors. I'd like to start with any of our directors who were on the call yesterday that might have something you want to add to this, or Robin, if you'd like to chime in. But I think that was enough to open it up. And Robin raised her hand, so go ahead, honey.
Well, can you see me on the video? Yeah. So aside from doing that, when I present those videos to set up the rapid sequential exposure, knowing that they're short videos, when in the next day or so will you have a time to watch those? And then they give me a time. I said, great, let's set up the follow-up call. So right when I make the appointment, like Gregory says, never end in one exposure without setting up the next. I ask them on the spot when they'd have a chance to watch those videos and set up the follow-up, because that phone tag game is old. We don't need it. And then, you know, they agreed to watch it because we made an appointment. And so the opportunity, the option for them to watch it increases because you've already got the appointment. They go, oh, I said I'd watch this before the appointment. So that's what I do.
That's great. Okay. Any of our other directors that were on yesterday like to share anything along these lines, or then we'll open it up for everybody and just open interaction. And you can just unmute yourself or raise your hand, but just chime in. And if, and I'm not seeing anyone, I'm not hearing anyone. So,
hey, Gregory, it's Judy Daniel.
Hey, there you go, Judy. Hi. Go ahead.
I love what you and Robin have said. And what else is there to add, really, other than just doing it? I love how the two of you keep it simple and yet so warm and easy and friendly. So that's my input. Yay for the two of you.
You know, I just want to acknowledge everyone that Judy is the vice president of my fan club. Robin retains the presidency, but thank you, Judy. That was wonderful. Michelle, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I have not something to add other than seconding the vice president of your fan club. Maybe I'm the secretary of the fan club.
You are one of the directors, my dear. Absolutely.
I'm definitely a Robin and Gregory fan. I have a vulnerable thing to share with everyone.
Okay.
So I've been doing this business for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years at the end of July. And I suck at follow-up. Pardon me, but I do. And I was looking, a woman came to mind. This is often how spirit prompts me. And this woman named Julie came to mind. I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot to reach out to her after a text exchange we had around tax time in April. And I remember it was around tax time because we were I was really busy and I procrastinated till the last minute. So I went back and looked at our text exchange, and it was April the 12th. She was telling me that she was having a headache and she wasn't sure whether to wear the patch during the day or night. And she's a customer. So I reached out yesterday, better late than never. And I left her a voicemail and I said, I am so sorry, Julie. I dropped the ball. You were a new customer. You were only in for a couple of months, and I need to be more awake and aware. And I said, do you have time for a call today? She did. She was so generous. She was so kind. She was like, oh, it's okay. I said, well, I'm telling you, it won't happen again. And Connie on the director's meeting yesterday said, set reminders in your In Touch app. And so I did that. Thank you, Connie. Oh my gosh. And I love Connie and Kay and all of their great ideas. And so I set a reminder for another person, and I'm going to just start going through my list in my In Touch app of people who have gone cold, and set reminders for reaching out to those people. And when we do sign up someone, a new customer or distributor, set a reminder in the In Touch app. It's such a great thing. I never even used it until Connie mentioned it. So there's my share.
Oh, and that's a big one. That's so
huge.
Valuable. Thank you.
Huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I got her on the track.
Michelle.
I got Julie on the right track. I encouraged her about certain things, and she was really excited to go for it again. So she took a break for a little while because she hadn't heard from me, and she's back on. So there's my share.
Hey, Michelle, it's Judy again. And you just exemplified one of the greatest strengths in network marketing, unlike other businesses, where being vulnerable, just being vulnerable like you did, is the greatest strength we can bring to our business. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you.
Awesome.
Michelle, this is Kay. I have a quick question. How do you get notified when you set a reminder in the In Touch app? How do you know the reminders there?
You go in to, and I'm on my phone right now, but
right.
It's very obvious how you set a reminder. You go to
the
process.
I understand that, but how does it notify you?
Oh, in the same way it does almost the same way as when they're watching the video. You get something comes up on your phone, right on the notifications, right on your phone, right on the face of your phone. It'll say, follow up with Julie or follow up with Al. It'll say. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. Thanks very much. And I see, Jennifer, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, the energy. Michelle, you're like a little magnet. You know, what I've discovered is very similar to what you're saying, Michelle, because I juggle a couple other things in my life. And so I have good intentions and I set those reminders, and they come faster than sometimes I can even keep up. So I kind of just, what I try to do is, Gregory, what you mentioned about rapid, get the appointment on the calendar. Now and then someone will say, can we reschedule? And they'll do it by text, and I'll say when, and they won't respond. And a little, it's like they're buying some time, maybe, I don't know. I lose track of those. And what I've discovered is when I go through my app, it takes a while sometimes to go through my list and go, who have I lost touch with? They're the one to go back and be really honest with. But what I've discovered is I was making an assumption they're not interested or the energy's no longer there. But every time I have called back, I've gotten a response like, oh, I'm so glad you called because I've just been so busy and I didn't have time to go do this and I've dropped the ball. It's almost like the connection gets reactivated again, and then I get to do the rapid exposure thing again. And what I realized when I was going through my list of names on the app was, my goodness, I still have 3/4 of it to follow up with. I have enough to keep me busy here for the next month. And it's exciting because so far my track record is people do want to hear from me, whether they're interested in the product yet or not. And keeping that, it's like a drip of love is how I like to think of it. Keep a slow drip of love for those that do not respond in a excited about the product kind of way, but more excited about how are you doing now? And I can say, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I'm telling you, there's something here. So it's nurturing those relationships. Some of them just go slow.
And, Jennifer, that reminds me of a teaching I heard one time. Every time you make a meaningful connection with somebody, it's like connecting heartstrings. And if you get enough strings woven together, it becomes a cord, and you're really connected with those people. So you're connecting those heartstrings. That's wonderful. And somebody else had their hand up. Is anybody else wanted to add to the juice of this morning's call?
Well, Gregory, I wondered if people might have any ideas on hesitancy for prospecting, hesitancy for getting the rapid sequence exposure started, because I find people are deep down so afraid of those no's that they never get started.
I'll give my quick comments and then I'll open it up. I think that one of the things that we've added to our daily method of operation is get your new person to download the app and send me a video, because that's a huge threshold to get someone across. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have been in the business that aren't using the app. And I'm going, oh my God, and I don't know how you're doing it, and maybe that's why it's not working so well. But I think one thing is getting them over the threshold that they send you a video, you respond, they get an alert and they go, whoa, that's kind of fun. You got to make it fun. So that's one step in the direction of getting them over the threshold of thinking about it to doing it.
Anybody else have ideas on that?
Looks like Casey's got her hand up. So go ahead, Casey.
I listen to everybody. I watch every Zoom call. I'm just not into have never had experience with multi-level marketing. So I'm just not used to the terminology or the methodology. And so I have about 200 people that I reached out to that were very excited, that I sent videos to, that I followed up with, and then the disconnect. So something is not connecting and I'm not real sure why. So I love all your wisdom. I love all your hints. I love all your direction. I'm just missing something, it feels like, and I'm not sure what.
And Casey, let me tell you, you could be very, very close, because I'll tell you a real life experience I had along your line when, in one of my interims, I had sold my manufacturing business. I was, trying to make some extra money. I was actually doing door-to-door sales, and I couldn't get in the door to make a sale. And I was failing miserably for the first week. And my sales trainer gave me one little key that got me in the door. And the next week, I was the number one salesperson in the company. And the week after that, I was, and the week after that, I was, because once I got in the door, I got to admit, I was selling insulation door to door, and I grew up in the insulation industry. So once I got in the door, they were done. Once I got my head in their attic, they were done, and so you're probably very close also. So don't get discouraged. So once you get that first exposure and process, it's, that next interaction, asking some questions, what did they like? What interested them, and keeping the exposure going. I'd love to send you another video if you'd like. Could I send you another video? That's, think of the options you have. What is exposure number 2 going to be? Is it another video? Maybe it's a 3-way call. Maybe it's a sample. But once they watch that first video, it's like a game of checkers. Okay. You don't send the second video till they watch the first video. But once they make a move, you can make another move. And that next move could be left, right, center. Again, it could be any one of the next logical steps. And Casey, so I'd encourage you to get, I don't know who your upline leader is, but I developed a mentoring relationship with your upline leader and do some diagnostics and try a few different things. And maybe for you, like it did for me, one little change in my presentation at the door got me in the door. And once I got in the door, I was making sales.
Remember what it was?
Well, what happens with the interaction, the first initial interaction is really very, very positive, very excited, very happy. So I send the video, ask them, when can I call you back? When would be a good time? Can't wait to share some more. The enthusiasm at that point is very high.
Yes.
What surprises me is then they don't look at the video. So then I will text them back and say, have you had a chance? Well, at first, some people say, tell them, I noticed you didn't watch the video. And other people say, oh, no, don't do that. Tell them, ask them, did you watch the video? so there's two different schools of thought on that. But so I normally just say, have you had a chance to watch the video? And I'm texting them because I'm not talking to them.
Okay. Let me make a suggestion, Casey. Try calling them and asking that instead of texting or leaving a voicemail. But I think you need to elevate the quality of connection, and a voice connection is a lot better than a text connection. Text connections are not so personal. So once you've had that voice contact and you've sent them the video, I'd suggest the next contact should be via phone, not text. Okay. And try that for a little bit, because it's, again, building that heartstring like we were just talking about. Hey, hi, Kay. Did you have a chance to watch the video yet? Oh, that's okay. We're all busy. You're really going to like it. So, let's see, it's early. Do you think you'd be a chance to watch it sometime today? I'll call you back later, or is tomorrow better?
Okay.
I agree. It's Helen.
Yeah,
May I add something? I like the idea of being upfront, because say they do become a distributor and get the app. Now they're going to know that you knew that they didn't watch the video. It's better, in my opinion, it's better to be honest, because if they do become a distributor, they're going to go, what do you mean you asked me if I watched the video? You knew I didn't. I just am putting that out there.
Yeah, and we had that discussion in the director's call yesterday. I think the majority said, like Helen's saying, hey, I noticed you haven't had a chance to watch the video yet with this cool app. If I didn't tell you before, I know when you watch it, I know, and I see you haven't yet. And I just wanted to encourage you to do so, because I think based on the conversation we had, you're really going to enjoy it. And that you can't really convey that over a text message. So, Casey, try voice follow-up, and you can leave that message on a voicemail as well as in person. And, 2 out of 3 times when we call people, we get voicemail, and that's okay, but it's a voice message.
I also have a suggestion based on counseling with one of my people who was asking everybody, may I send you a video? And they all said yes, because who's going to say no to that? We had her change her verbiage to, if I send you a video, will you watch it? And it went up to 33% of people watching the video from 0%. Ooh. Because it's a verbal contract, and now they feel more obligated.
The little keys, that's a big one. If I send you a video, will you have a chance to watch it?
Will you watch it? Not will you have a chance? Will you watch it?
We're getting quite a bit of echo. So if you're not speaking, if you could mute yourself. I'm hearing myself. I love. No, I'm just kidding.
Gregory?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Natalie. Go ahead. You're muted. You were unmuted. You muted yourself. Unmute yourself, Natalie.
All right. Phil Jones says to take the pressure off of them by saying, I'm guessing you haven't had a chance to watch the video yet, because then they're either proud that they did, or you've taken the pressure off the fact that they haven't.
I like that. Yeah. And Shannon, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, I can hear the echo. So, Kay, I really like that question that you asked. If I send you the video, will you watch it? One of our other people that presented at the last convention essentially said, it's important to say the word please. Will you please watch that video if I send it to you? And there's something about saying please, it gives people a sense of respect for them, for their time. Another really amazing opportunity I learned from someone years and years ago, over 30 years ago, and that was this: if you're with the individual person, just simply reach out, touch them on the shoulder or on the hand, even if it's a fist bump, and just when you ask them that question, if I send you the video, will you please watch it? when you touch them, it increases the likelihood up to 80% greater likelihood that they'll actually watch, because there's a physiological response when asking that question. And I thought, that's so crazy. Well, guess what? I've been practicing for 30 years with different aspects of my life, and it actually does work. I can guarantee you that. And Kay, I would also like to mention that, again, it's about permission. If I don't hear from you in a couple of days, do I have your permission to give you a call back? And as Gregor was asking, when specifically? That question, when specifically, is it morning or afternoon? If they give you permission to call them back, it's a guarantee. They're not going to feel like you're pestering them. You're actually following up with what they want you to do for them. And I hope that helps Kay and everybody else.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Great. Those are two really, really hot things. Thank you, Shannon.
You're more than welcome.
And Jennifer, would you mind unmuting? Because you brought up Kai's 1 to 10 on scale 1 to 10. I think if you would like to share that, I think that could be very valuable for Casey and everyone else.
Yeah, I was thinking about you, Casey, when I was having a moment of kind of doubting myself, and listening to Kai Jacobson talk about 5 pillars of authenticity. It was just, it kind of put a new light on it, because it made me look within me to see what might be lurking around in my belief system that might be getting in the way. So on a scale of 1 to 10, asking myself, where am I with my relationship around or belief in the product, number 1, the company and David Schmidt and his work, number 2, the network industry, that's a biggie for a lot of people. And then 4, the compensation plan. Well, I didn't even know what the compensation plan was, but when I started actually getting commissions showing up on my page, I realized, wow, something's happening that hasn't happened in other companies, and faster. And then 5, the team or the people that you're personally working with, like colleagues, for mutual support. And boy, on that trip we went on, it really occurred to me how extremely fortunate we are to be a part of this team, this whole team, and that we have each other and we get to learn from each other every week, and we can watch YouTubes and do a lot. So suddenly it shifted my mindset to realize, I came away from that meeting feeling like I had bumped a couple things up from 7 or 8 to 10. And that made me feel like I was on fire.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer. There's one other 1 to 10 thing that Kai taught us, and I actually thought that's what I didn't really read what you wrote, but that was incredibly valuable. But one thing Kai likes to do when you get on the phone with somebody to watch the video, he says, now on a 1 to 10 scale, how would you rate your excitement or your enthusiasm? And if they're less than a 7 or a 6 or less, well, let me send you another video. If they're a 7 or above, maybe it's time for a 3-way call. And so you want to sift and sort. And going back to the original concept I talked about, one we'll focus on one of our upcoming calls is the value of your time. You want to work with the willing. And how do you know if they're willing? You ask. And asking somebody on a 1 to 10 scale, how would you rate your excitement or your interest? And people tell you, and they'll say, it's a 7. Oh, cool. So let me just, ask, what more information, would you like to have? We've got a 30-day unconditional satisfaction-based guarantee. You can try the products risk-free. And they might just say, heck, let's give it a try. Take the order, right? So any last comments? We've gone a little bit past our 30-minute mark. This has been a great call. I really appreciate everyone's questions and feedback.
Gregory, it's Helen. I do have one little more tip. When you're going to call back, I learned this from a mentor a long time ago. When you're going to call back, if you say 2 o'clock, You call exactly at 2. And now they can trust you. They know you're trustworthy because you're doing what you said you'd do.
I'm with you 1,000%. I'm usually sitting there a few minutes before the top of the hour, getting ready to dial. I try not to dial before 2, but you know, when it hits the hour, like their phone's ringing. Excellent. Okay, go ahead.
Greg and Rob, this is Jada. I've been in a lot of network with MLM business before, but this is the first time that I've ever been in one, and you know, and I've you know, run across several people in this business, leaders, but you guys, you two, your heart is amazing, and that's, you are attracting those people, those leaders. And I just want you all to know, I appreciate you so much. When I say that in text and whatever, I mean that from the heart, because your heart is so big. And that love and that passion, not just for business, for the people. When they say you help enough people get what they want and you get what you want, that's what you all exemplify. You exemplify it so much. And you all have helped me to grow where I've known this stuff, but comprehending, trouble there. But you just brought up so many things in your speakers as well that I know these things. So I'm gonna go back and write these things down and just start utilizing them, you know. But I appreciate you all so much, and the leaders and the speakers that come out on this team. You make us feel so welcome, so appreciative, and everybody, nobody's exempt. Everybody, there's no respect of people in this business with you guys, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Hey, Jada, this is Judy Daniel. I think you and I should be co-vice presidents of Gregory and Robin's fan club.
A bunch of us.
Well, we love you guys. You just made our day. There's no doubt about it. You know, I feel like, you know.
Well, I know I'm going to make it in this business. I feel so much. I know for sure I'm going to make it in this business better than I've ever been sure in any business I've been in.
That's the spirit.
It happens to so many people, and that's because of you two, with the leaders that you are. You are passing that on down to us, that we can do this thing. And I appreciate you guys. You're leaders, you're examples, and you're living what you're teaching, and we appreciate that.
Well, I love you more, Jada.
just one last thing.
You a hug. One of these days, I'll be able to give you a hug. I won't be able to see you all again in August, but one of these days.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. Representation of my mental stability, and that's it, because you're not a psychiatrist.
Oh, wait a second. We're getting something else going in here.
No, I'm not a psychiatrist.
No. Hey, everybody. Somebody mentioned Phil Jones. If you haven't had a chance, go to Empower.
The results from my former.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. I'm going to mute all, and you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Somebody mentioned Phil Jones. If you haven't heard the series that LifeWave gave us, it's still up. I checked the other day. Go to empowerlifewave.com. And there's a password. It's simple, X39, and the X is little, small X39. There's so much amazing information our company gave us. I recommend y'all check it out.
Great. And Robin has some closing comments she'd like to make, and we'll bring this call in for a wrap.
First of all, what a juicy call. Oh my gosh. And you know, every week on our directors calls, we talk about what to do here. And you know, Gregory shared that yesterday, said, we need that on the Thursday morning call. So here it is. And it was even better than expected. And just a little bit of housekeeping, everyone. If you're moving around, I mean, Michelle pulled it off great on her walk because she was consistent. But if your camera's all over the place, please mute, you know, keep your camera quiet. If you're not talking, stay on mute. That would just make a big difference for everybody. Just a little etiquette for everyone. Okay.
Beautiful.
And thank you. Oh my God, what a day. I'm excited for the day. It's sunny and beautiful out here, and there's white snow in the mountains, and it's gorgeous.
All right. So time to bring it in for a wrap. You want to unmute and say goodbye? Have a beautiful day, everyone. Happy
you,
Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys.
What a great
you. Bye, Gregory and Jada, you were wonderful, and Judy and everybody.
Happy Mother's Day on Sunday.
Michelle.
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
I got the trio from my mom.
Oh, no.
Art.
Bye.
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 For me, this is Happy Grandmother's Day. I'm a grandmother and one of a 1-year-old and a 4-month-old, a 3-month-old. So I'm excited.
That is. Congratulations, Grandma.
Have a blessed day.
Bye, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.